Imagine a world untouched by human hands. A vast, wild landscape teeming with colossal beasts and unknown dangers. This isn't a fantasy epic. This was the reality for our earliest ancestors. Their story isn't just about survival. It's the greatest adventure ever told. The epic journey that led to us. Welcome back to our channel, where today we peeling back the layers of time to reveal the untold journey of our earliest human ancestors across a prehistoric world. Before the pyramids, before the first cities, even before the last ice age, our story began in the heart of Africa. It was a world both beautiful and brutal. Here, small bands of hominins, beings like Australopithecus, and later Homo habilis, took their first upright steps. Think about that for a moment. Walking on two legs wasn't just a new way to move. It was a revolutionary act. It freed their hands, allowing them to carry food, protect their young, and eventually, to create the very first tools. These weren't sophisticated axes or spears. The first tools, known as the old Darwin toolkit, were simple stones, crudely chipped to create a sharp edge. But in the hands of Homo habilis the handyman, these were they could butcher carcasses left by fearsome predators like saber-toothed cats, accessing nutrient-rich marrow and meat. This boost in protein was like rocket fuel for their brains. It was this dietary shift that likely kick-started the incredible expansion of the human brain, setting the stage for everything that followed. Life was a constant struggle. They weren't the apex predators. They were the hunted as much as the hunters. Every rustle in the tall grass could mean a lion. Every shadow in the sky could be a giant eagle. They relied on their wits, their growing social bonds, and their ability to communicate through gestures and simple vocalizations. They learned to read the land, to know which plants were safe to eat, where to find water, and how to stay one step ahead of extinction. Then, a new player entered the scene. Homo erectus. Taller, stronger, and with a significantly larger brain. Homo erectus. Was born to explore. They were the first hominins to truly master their environment and the first to venture out of Africa. This wasn't a planned migration with maps and supplies. It was a slow generational creep across the landscape, driven by curiosity, climate change, and the constant search for resources. One of their greatest achievements, the harnessing of fire. It's hard to overstate how transformative this was. Fire provided warmth on cold nights, a defense against nocturnal predators, a way to cook food, making it easier to digest and safer to eat, and a social hub. Imagine them gathered around a crackling fire under a canopy of prehistoric stars, sharing food, perhaps the first stories being told in guttural sounds and animated gestures. The fire was the heart of their community. Over hundreds of thousands of years, these intrepid explorers spread across Asia and into Europe. They adapted to entirely new environments, from tropical jungles to temperate forests. They faced new challenges, new predators, and new climates. In Europe, they would eventually give rise to the Neanderthals, our famous, robust cousins. In Asia, they continued to thrive, leaving behind traces of their existence in ancient riverbeds and caves. This expansion wasn't a single, straight line. It was a messy, branching process. Different groups of hominins coexisted, sometimes interacting, sometimes competing. The world was a patchwork of ancient human relatives, each with their own unique adaptations and cultures. The Denisovans in Asia, the hobbits of Flores Island, and other groups we are only now discovering through ancient DNA, all played a part in this complex human tapestry. Back in Africa, the evolutionary journey continued. It was here that a new species emerged, one with a high, rounded skull and a slender build. Homo sapiens, US, armed with even more sophisticated brains and a growing capacity for symbolic thought. Our direct ancestors were poised for greatness. They developed new toolkits, created the first art, and developed complex language. Around 70,000 years ago, driven by massive climate shifts, a small group of Homo sapiens made their own journey out of Africa. This time, it was different. They were equipped with a level of ingenuity and social organization never seen before. They followed coastlines, island hopping across to Asia, and eventually reaching Australia. A feat that would have required seafaring technology. They pushed north into Europe, where they met the Neanderthals. For thousands of years, we shared the continent with our ancient cousins. We didn't just replace them. The evidence in our own DNA tells us we interbred. We exchanged genes, and perhaps ideas and culture. The story of their eventual disappearance is a mystery we're still trying to solve. But it's clear that our ancestors' adaptability and innovation gave them a crucial edge. Tei, Poseidon, crossing the frozen land bridge of Beringia into the Americas, the last great continental conquest. Within a few thousand years, they had populated 2 entire continents, from the Arctic tundra to the tip of South America, adapting to every conceivable environment. It is the single fastest and most successful expansion of any species in the planet's history. So, when you look at a map of the world, don't just see land and water. See the invisible footprints of our ancestors. See the courage it took to leave the familiar behind and step into the unknown. Their journey is written in our DNA, in our innate curiosity, our desire to connect, and our ability to innovate. We are the descendants of the ultimate survivors, the pioneers who walked out of Africa and inherited the earth. Their incredible, untold story is our story. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey through deep time. What part of our ancestors' story fascinates you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And do you forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you miss our next adventure into the past. Until next time, stay curious.